Hello, if you're new here, I'm Anthony and I'm a final year medical student. 10 months ago, I decided to start a YouTube channel. And in that video, I made a few promises to myself.
Consistent channel, which posts at least once a week, maybe two.
Yeah. Fast forward 10 months. For the first three-ish months, I managed to post one video a week. After that, I kind of got sidetracked. I wanted to reflect honestly and transparently on what's been my first 10 months in my content creation journey as a medical student. I really feel like I've kind of failed, and I wanted to publicly hold myself accountable for this, but also try and help anyone that kind of suffers from procrastination. They know exactly what to do, but for some reason they're just not starting that thing. Or someone who's gotten a bit of success, but then has kind of lost their way and got comfortable. And when you get comfortable, it's never a good thing. When you start to get comfortable, that's when the drop is going to come. It's inevitably going to come. Looking back now, I realized that I stopped posting consistently as soon as I saw a bit of success with views. So I wanted to kind of talk about this all, talk about why I think that happened and the plan going forward. Yeah, I'm not going to be editing this video much, just trying to purely be candid and just speak my mind about what I've learned so far. Yeah, I've got my tea. This is going to be an informal chat. This is going to be like a conversation between me and you. I just want to reflect on what I've learned from growing a YouTube channel, starting a business, and trying to balance medical school at the same time. So without further ado, let's get into it. Firstly, a bit into the backstory behind this whole thing. I wanted to start something new. I want to do something creative. I didn't want my brain just to be used for studying, for memorizing things, but to actually be used in a more of a creative way. In medical school, to be a safe, competent doctor, we need to follow guidelines, we need to follow rules. And those guidelines and rules are there for a reason. But at the same time, the creative part of your brain is not being used. I always believe that if you don't use it, you lose it. So if you do have a skill, if you don't use that skill for a very long time, that skill will get worse. I also got really interested in business and side hustles and entrepreneurship and creating something of value, creating a product and having an impact on the world through something that you've made. I was super nervous to post my first YouTube video. I never thought in a million years that I would have a YouTube channel. When I realized that I was scared of this thing, I realized that this is something that I need to do. Anything that I've been scared of before and I've gone and done the thing, I never regret it. I never regret making that decision and pursuing that thing. I always feel reward and satisfaction. I guess just happiness when I do something that I'm scared of, something where I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone. I knew that if I didn't, that I would regret it. I don't think there's really a worse feeling than regret. You know, you much rather shoot the shot, you much rather do the thing and fail than think, what if I did this? And especially down the line when you're older, when you having more responsibility in my life, having family, kids maybe, and then thinking, I wish I started that thing. I wish I just started something. I wish I took that risk. I wish I started that business. It was almost, I guess, the fear of the future and the fear of looking back and regret was also a big driving force for me. I also thought to myself, I want to start a business, but what actually makes sense right now? What can I actually offer to the world? What can I actually provide value at? Because at the end of the day, a business is something that provides value to the world. I thought to myself, how can I do that? And YouTube was just the obvious answer. From YouTube, I can reach people around the world that I wouldn't be able to. I can help people feel less stressed about exams, study better. I can help people start their fitness journey. Basically, I thought back to my younger self and I thought, what would my younger self wish he had known at 15, 16, 17? it will definitely be an interesting journey to go on and to look back on. A couple decades down the line, I might watch these old videos and see how naive I was, how different I was. Whatever happens, it'll be quite funny to look back on, and it'll be a good memory to have that I could show my kids. That is the origin story. But of course, I broke the #1 rule of trying to grow on YouTube and to try and grow and do anything well, which is consistency. If you want to get good grades, you need to be consistent with studying. If you want to build muscle and lose weight, you have to be consistent with sport and the gym. I didn't produce one video a week like I wanted to. I've just been thinking about it, and I've been thinking, why did that happen? How do I stop that from happening in the future? I read this book recently. It kind of gave me this big realization and this big epiphany moment in my head. So I read this book called Essentialism, and on one of the first pages, it has this diagram, which I'll put on the screen. This diagram right here. And it basically just shows someone putting their energy into several different things, and then someone putting their energy into one thing, and the difference, basically. In the last couple months, it's not like I've been working less hard and I've been slacking off or I've been being lazy. I actually feel like I've been working harder than I ever have been in my life, and I wasn't getting the same kind of returns and the rewards and the progress that I got earlier on a couple months ago. This book basically opened my eyes up to why. This book is called Essentialism, and it basically talks about what an essentialist does. One of the main principles is less but better. One of the lines is, once you give yourself permission to stop trying to do it all, to stop saying yes to everyone, then you can make your highest contribution towards the things that really matter. And that basically summed me up to a T. I was working harder, but I was actually making less progress because I was spreading myself too thin. I was diversifying my attention across so many different things that the main thing that I was trying to work on was the YouTube channel, apart from obviously medical school, kind of got pushed to the back, and I started getting very distracted. When we have increased options and opportunities, which is actually code for demands upon our time and energies, we become distracted from what would otherwise be our highest level of contribution. The effect of our success has been to undermine the very clarity that led to our success in the first place. We're so good at convincing ourselves that this thing is important or this thing is important, especially those of us who are highly analytical, typically, quite smart, overachieving, but massive overthinkers. We can easily convince ourselves of BS that just isn't really true. So for example, I convinced myself that I was actually being more productive by taking on more opportunities, saying yes to more things. But I've had so many opportunities in the last few months in terms of collaborations, in terms of I started a fitness coaching business. I started boxing, taking running more seriously, and networking, meeting new friends, new people. And all of this combined, it's kind of taken away my focus from the main thing, which is YouTube. I realized that I was slightly misguided by my definition of productivity for myself. Really and truly, most of the things that we do that we think are important probably just aren't that important. There's usually just 1, 2, 3 things in any one period of our lives, in any season of our life, that is actually the things that are going to make progress, is it going to drive forward motion. And there's so many things that we convince ourselves that we're doing to be more productive, but really it's just kind of an excuse to put off the big, important, but also difficult tasks that we just want to avoid. And for me, this thing has been posting a YouTube video once a week. The first and obvious thing is to subtract. So I'm going to be putting less focus and attention into my online fitness coaching business. I'm going to be saying no to more opportunities that come my way, sponsorships, affiliates, really prioritize the main thing and why I started all of this and what's given me the most joy, which is making these YouTube videos. Second thing is obviously to try and be more consistent. So 1 video a week. There was a period just a month ago where I said, I'm gonna make 2 videos a week, one on Wednesday, one on Sunday. And bear in mind, I told myself I would make 2 videos a week when I wasn't even being consistent at making 1 video a week. This just goes to show how easily we can delude ourselves into thinking that we can do more than we can. Whenever I get an opportunity, instead of asking myself the question, how can I juggle all these things at the same time, I'm going to ask myself, is this going to take my energy and attention away from making YouTube videos? Is this something that I honestly have the capacity to handle right now? There's a quote from Picasso where he says, "Without great solitude, no serious work is possible." So the final step for my strategy is to just become more unavailable. The author says, the faster and busier things get, the more we need to build thinking time into our schedule. And the noisier it gets, the more we need to build quiet reflection spaces in which we can truly focus. So one of the last things I'm going to do is every Sunday, I'm going to have a weekly review of my goals and my progress towards those goals. Every Sunday is going to be my day of rest. After all, in the Bible, it's the day of rest. Completely switch off and have more thinking time to myself. To go for a walk, go to church, to read the Bible, to just sit, reflect, and refocus. Because what I've realized from this whole journey and through the last 10 months is you can so quickly get lost in opportunities and shiny objects and new things. You can so quickly get lost in pursuing or taking on 3 new things in 1 week. And you just don't even realize sometimes how much you're really doing. So one of the lessons is just to slow down and to remember the thing that got you those opportunities in the first place. You can't let that plant die. You need to keep watering that plant that initially got you the fruits, the opportunities. You cannot be complacent. You cannot get too in your comfort zone. Every Sunday, I will be carving out that time. So I'm never going too far off track. I'm always kind of going and aligned in the right direction, in the direction that I want to truly go in, and not just, starting a new hobby here or starting something new there. According to the book, he calls it becoming unavailable. But yeah, essentially I'm going to be pulling back and going back to the basics and working my way, building this routine and consistency of 1 video a week. So guys, I hope that some of this was relatable for you. Some of the challenges that I've experienced, if you're a content creator or if you just are someone that has always wanted to start something, but you've always been waiting for permission to start. You've always been waiting for someone else to tell you that you can start. When we're younger, at school, we always get told what we can do. We need to ask for permission to do something. Now, especially if you're, over the age of 18, then you don't need permission and no one's going to give it to you. If you don't decide and make choices for yourself and go after what you want, then someone else will. And if you don't have any dreams, you'll become part of someone else's dreams. Take action right now. Start to build out your life. Start to take control, because you're the only one that can change things. No one is coming to save you. It's up to you. It's up to you. But yeah, that was a lot. But yeah, guys, that was a chance for me to reflect, hopefully a chance for you to reflect, and hopefully you've taken some things away from this. Maybe you'll be inspired to start something new, start your own business. If you found this video useful, please drop a like, subscribe, and check out some of my other videos I talk about studying, fitness, productivity. In the link in the description, you can sign up for the waitlist to join my school community that I'll be launching soon, where I'll be talking about everything I've learned in the past 5 years as a medical student and how hopefully you can apply it to yourself and just be the best kind of version of yourself that you can be. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. As always, God bless, and let's win together.